Okay, so I was on a quest to find the pillows that I thought were dolls for the Little Mermaid. I thought they were just stuffed dolls, but actually they are pillows. So you would find them in the kids' room area where you find the comforters and the pillows. The first pillow that I'm going to review is the Ariel. She's from the Little Mermaid pillow collection I found at Target. And she's not my favorite, but she's my second favorite. So the most detailing thing about her is her tail, and I would say this is the most beautiful tail of all of the pillows. There are several fabrics. The first fabric and the main fabric is a sheer green fabric that has a scallop edging and a top stitching that gives the illusion of a fin. And there's a contrasting fabric that is reminiscent of of leather, and it's shimmery and it's a beautiful contrast. And you also have this accordion fabric, and then you have this netting, blue netting that has glitter dots. It's all in all, it reminds me of what you would find in the movie, so it's really authentic to the movie, and I love that. It's a very beautiful tell. Now, as far as her lower half, you have a satin body, and it has a scallop print or scale print, and there is purple, there's blue, and there's parts of it that looks like there's no paint, like there's something wrong with the machine, but actually, and it's white, so actually I think it's an iridescent effect that's supposed to give you that shimmer effect, so I love it. It's very creative. And then on top you have this peplum, and it's just a nice way to finish it off. You don't have that raw edge, so it's a beautiful doll. I all in all, it's a gorgeous doll, and I'm so happy I purchased her. So let's get more into the detail of her. And here is Ariel's hair. We're just gonna get a better look of that. This is the light brown is the only one that's double strand twists, and all the others yarns are just like loose yarns. And again, it's, you know, that empty back of the head. And her top continues around, and you can like slip your finger in it. It's like almost like you can remove the top. And that's the back view of her. And they didn't continue that fabric on the back, but that doesn't matter. They still did the top stitching, which came through from the other side, but hey, you got that little detailing, so it's not boring. And also the peplum that they have on top of her bottom and on her top, her bra-like top, it also continues around. So yeah, she's beautiful, and you can't forget that beauty mark that Holly has. So the first sister that splashed in is Indira, and the detail that I love most about her is the little hair ornament that's in the middle of her forehead. It's gold, and I just love those kind of little detailings. It makes it special, so like that just makes her special to me. And we'll take her down and get a better look at her. And here's Indira. We're gonna get a closer look of her little hairbreadth that she has on her head. There is a term for this. I don't know it, but there is an actual word for this hairbreadth. Maybe I will print it somewhere on the screen. I do believe this is like part of the Indian culture. But yeah, it's a beautiful detail that was stitched on, and it's an actual individual piece from the doll. Again, there's not hair on the back. And her top is asymmetrical, so it's off the shoulder on one side, and it's a sleeve on this side. And it's actually an actual sleeve, unlike the other sister. You see, I can stick my finger in there. And here's her tail. It's just a satin that matches beautifully with her lower half of her body. The second sister to splash in is Caspia, and I find that my favorite thing about her is the color of her yarn for her hair. You have like this light color yarn, which is like the thickest one, and then you have these thin piece yarns, and they're darker, and it just gives a dimension, and it's a beautiful contrast to her top. So yeah, that's my favorite. So let's take her down and let's see some little more details about her. Okay, so as with all the other dolls, her face is printed on, and the hair is not completely full, but I don't think that matters. And here you have her top, and I love the fact that it almost looks like you can pull it off, but you can't. You see, it's not even, it's only attached around the arms. So it's like a top that you can almost pull off, and I love that idea. The details, I just love the details. I love having details. I don't want something that's simple. More detailed, the more interesting. So her tail, I would have to say is like the second interesting of all the sisters. She just has this beautiful pattern here. It kind of reminds me of a butterfly. And again, it's just a chiffon right here. This is a chiffon, and there's like this satin fabric, and I love the fact that it's also on the other side. So I just love this continuing of the design on the back, because they could have easily just had it simple, flat, but they continued it, and that's awesome to me. And the other and final sister that's part of this pillow collection is Mala. And the favorite thing I like about her is her little top. She has sleeves, so it's kind of a little more detail about it. And she also has a braid, but we'll talk about that later. Yeah, so that's all the sisters. So let's take her down and see a little bit more about her. And Mala, she's the only sister that has, I think it's like a crown, or maybe it's a headband. But that's one little detail to make, give her interest. And I have to say, it seems like she has the thickest hair. And on the back, she has kind of like a French braid. And she has highlights of brown hair or brown yarn. She has like about, I would say, 2 different yarns on her head. The thicker one is the black one, and then you have this light brown one, that's the thinner one. So that makes it interesting and fun. And then again, with her top, let's get a better look. In the back, it has this continual little strap that continues from the front to the back. So again, there's that continue design. The back isn't boring. And she has a little simple peplum. And then her tail, it's kind of interesting. I like how they have this kind of suede-like fabric that's yellow. It's a beautiful contrast to this pink, or it's actually a compliment, because they're both pretty warm. And there's that top stitching detailing again. And she has different variations of pink in her tail. And yeah, she's a beautiful doll. My number one favorite pillow is Ursula. Now, the reason why she's my favorite is because she's kind of like this architectural wonder, because she stands on her own. I'm panning around her, and she has nothing propping her. She's literally standing on her own. So this pillow often fascinated me, because I just keep finding something that was interesting about it, and it was, like I said, I'm all about the details. So let's dive into her and see a little bit more about her. Okay, so the other surprising detail, which I did notice, was this beautiful fabric here. It is kind of abstract. I don't really understand it, but it's beautiful. I love it. I love the pattern. And it's like a sleeve fringe. Another thing which I just realized now, this doll just keeps on surprising me. The inside of her stand-up collar is another pattern. It kind of continues that pattern we found on her sleeve. That is just another surprise. And then when you flip her over, look at that. That's beautiful. A satin fabric with polka dots. What a surprise. You would just think it would be like the same fabric throughout, but it's just so many little details about this doll. And when it comes to her eyes, her mouth, and all of those other features, it's just a print, just like with all the others, which is perfectly fine. She's beautiful. I think she's a lovely doll. And her hair is yarn, and basically she has kind of like a cone head. It's just white yarn. She has this fabric that kind of reminds me of leather, and it has a little shimmer to it, and that's pretty much it to this amazing little doll hair or pillow. I keep calling it a doll because to me it's a doll, but it's something that you can put on your bed. But that's her in a nutshell. So these dolls, or I keep calling them dolls, but they're actually pillows. They are the length basically of my arm, and that's including Ursula. I would definitely be careful not to get them dirty because you can't wash them. I think you can do spot cleaning. And also, I want to say that I just love this collection. It's just very detailed, surprisingly detailed. And I am so happy to finally get another sisters collection. And if you find that someone might like this, please be sure to share and give this video a thumbs up, and please subscribe. Take care.